President Trump has taken some truly extreme steps to stop legal asylum seekers fleeing violence and persecution. But a federal judge now says the administration has gone too far. Now, we've reported on accounts of U.S. border agents stopping asylum seekers from coming into ports of entry, stopping them on the bridge. We've reported on a spike in immigrant detention rates. And of course, the Department of Justice making it essentially impossible for those fleeing gang and domestic violence to even obtain asylum. And then there is the intentional, cruel policy of taking away the children of people who, once again, immigrated and asked for asylum legally. A federal judge late yesterday said the administration cannot simply detain asylum seekers arbitrarily in just the latest legal blow to the Trump administration's immigration policy. Cecillia Wang is the deputy legal director of the ACLU, which is one of the groups that took the Trump administration to court yesterday. Cecillia, what was the the cause of this lawsuit, and what are the ramifications of the ruling?
Chris, I think you're right that the big story of this week is that now a second federal court has joined the people of the United States in speaking out against the president's cruel and illegal policies. This latest ruling is in a case called Damu. We represent a man called Ansley Damu, who is a Haitian refugee. He spoke out against a corrupt local official in his hometown in Haiti. He's an ethics and math teacher, and he fled after local thugs beat him up because he was outspoken about this local corrupt official. Although Mr. Damu has been granted asylum by an American immigration judge twice and has passed every hurdle toward winning his asylum claim, he's been locked up for a year and a half by ICE in a county jail, most of the time in isolation. And Mr. Damu and about 1,000 other people are the victims of the Trump administration's policy of having blanket detention of people who are seeking asylum for the purpose of deterring people from applying for asylum in the United States. So yesterday, a federal court in our case blocked this policy, saying that the Trump administration practice actually violates their own stated policy. In addition, what we're going to show in the lawsuit is that it violates the due process clause in the Constitution.
This is key, because this is a single individual, right? So we've been talking about families, talking about family detention, family separation. It's a single man or came by himself, detained for a year and a half in a county jail in penitentiary conditions, who has an asylum claim that has been ratified by American courts. And that goes to show the sort of scope of the detention issue. In terms of the latest ground, where things are on family separation and reunification, we've got a story in NBC today that basically has the Trump administration basically going to separated parents and saying, you can deport by yourself or be deported with your kids, but those are your options. And that seems like a similar violation both of due process and the sort of statutory framework for asylum in the country.
That's right, Chris. It does violate due process for this latest outrage for the Trump administration to say to parents who have been ordered reunited with their kids by the federal court in our case. The Trump administration today is saying, okay, we'll give you a choice, parents. You can leave with your kids. We'll reunite you in that case, or you can leave without your kids and we'll deport you. And this really reinforces, actually, reports that we've heard for some time now that there's a disturbing pattern of ICE officials, of immigration officials, telling parents, give up your claims, agree to be deported, do not apply for asylum, even if you have a valid claim, and that's the way you're going to get your kids back. This is not only illegal, but it's really unconscionable. And I think another important part of the story, in addition to the federal court ruling last week, is that we saw 600 women arrested at the Hart Senate building in D.C. and hundreds of thousands of people around the country on Saturday protesting against the Trump administration policy. That's the conscience of the country speaking.
There are no words strong enough to describe how vile it is to use a child that you have taken from a parent who is fleeing danger as a hostage, frankly, in trade for them to sign away their asylum claims, which are protected both under international law and American law. It is unconscionable indeed. Cecillia Wang, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Some eye-opening